Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is November 10th, 2024, and Barcelona has just suffered their second defeat of La Liga against Real Sociedad, 1-0 at Anoeta. And with that, Barcelona lose their 6-point lead against Real Madrid. Technically, still 6 points, but if Madrid were to win their respective match, which was against Valencia and got suspended, it does narrow that lead to 3 points. This is the post-match live analysis. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and this is the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end and where I get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting a discussion going. This is not to be confused with the Barca News podcast, which is on every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we discuss Barcelona news. Having said all that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Kickback, Goal Kits, or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. If you click on them, you'll be supporting this channel, but you would also be getting access to some pretty cool deals and offers. Anyways, let's start with the match analysis because Barcelona just suffered their second defeat of the season, this time against Real Sociedad, 1-0 in an away match. That was a pretty difficult match for Barcelona where the team did not perform well and where Real Sociedad were superior to us. And of course, everything else was made worse by the absolute robbery that we witnessed today at the stadium where Robert Lewandowski scored his the first goal of the match, but somehow, some way, it was ruled offside. Now, this is the image of the supposed offside. You tell me whether you think this is an offside or not. As you can see, the Real Sociedad defender's foot is ahead of Robert Lewandowski, and you can see it clearly because he is wearing gray cleats. Lewandowski is wearing green cleats, so it's not like they were both wearing the same color cleats and you couldn't differentiate between the two. I think it's pretty clear and pretty obvious that the Real Sociedad foot was ahead of Robert Lewandowski. And there's no way that the Polish striker was offside, and there's no way that this goal should have been ruled offside, but yet the semi-automatic offside system, which La Liga have installed, where it's a computer that determines whether the play is offside or not, determined that it was offside, and this is the image that was generated by the computer. Now, you tell me whether this image is a reflection of what went on, because here we see Lewandowski's foot supposedly ahead of that Real Sociedad's player, but then look at this. Again, look at this image, and then look at this one. You tell me that is the same image, because I don't think so. Here it shows that Lewandowski's toes was supposedly offside, but there's only two ways that this could happen. A, either Lewandowski has a foot size 60 in European or 20 in American, or that his toes have daggers in them and they, went through the foot of the Real Sociedad defender. Because again, here's Lewandowski's foot behind the Real Sociedad defender, but then the computer shows that his toes are supposedly offside. So either Robert Lewandowski has incredibly, incredibly long toes that went past Real Sociedad player's foot, or his toes have daggers and it just stabbed the Real Sociedad defender's foot, went through the foot, and into the offside line. Grotesque mistake by the semi-automatic system, because this is clear as day that Robert Lewandowski was not offside. The Barcelona's goal should have counted, and Barcelona should have been up 0-1. So huge mistake by the system, which of course calls into doubt this automatic system, which was just implemented this season, and calls for La Liga to have to review this, because this is definitely a gruesome mistake by the computer. I don't know if the computer censors maybe mistook the fee and thought that the Real Sociedad's player's foot was Lewandowski's or whatever, but there's obviously something that went horrendously wrong and this needs to be revisited. It needs to be reviewed by La Liga, and they need to figure out what went wrong and then make sure that it's fixed and make sure that this does not happen again. Because the whole point of this technology, the reason why La Liga implemented this technology, the reason why La Liga made this huge investment was to avoid human errors. And if we're replacing human errors with computer errors, then what's the point of the technology to begin with? Why spend millions of euros implementing this technology, the computers, the systems, the software, etc., if the software is going to make the same mistake as humans? Might as well just keep using referees if the computers cannot fix these errors. So La Liga have to review what happened, figure out what went wrong, and fix it. What's the problem? That I highly, highly doubt that this is going to happen. Refereeing has been a big problem in Spain for many, many years. We've all agreed that refereeing has been mediocre at best in Spain, and that is a shame because La Liga is one of the best leagues in the world, top 2, maybe top 3 leagues in the world. And to have these kind of refereeing errors happen time and time again, it's a big, big problem, and it shows that La Liga are simply not interested in fixing these mistakes. So I doubt anything will happen, but I really hope they do, because again, this kind of mistake cannot happen again, and this is clearly a mistake by the automatic system, because there's no way you're going to tell me that that foot in that generated image is Lewandowski's foot, when here we can clearly see that Lewandowski's boot, the yellow boot, was behind Real Sociedad's player's boot, which is great. So it's clear error. I hope it gets fixed, but this is absolutely unacceptable in what's supposed to be the best league in, or one of the best leagues in the world. Now, having said that, grotesque error aside, big robbery on that goal. Barcelona did not lose because of the ref, because today Barcelona did not have a good match whatsoever. Nothing was working out for us. We might have played well the first 20 minutes where Barcelona were moving the ball quickly. They were creating chances. We scored the goal that was ruled offsides. But after those 20 minutes, Barcelona were overcome in every single facet of the game. Real Sociedad were better than us defensively. They were better than us in the midfield. They were better than us in the attack. Real Sociedad were superior to us, and that is why today Barcelona lost. Yes, the refereeing mistake was huge. Yes, the refereeing mistake was grotesque. Yes, it was an absolute robbery as far as that mistake, but that is not why Barcelona lost. Today, Barcelona lost because nothing worked. Besides that goal that Lewandowski scored that was ruled offside, we didn't generate a single shot on target. And if you cannot generate danger, if you cannot generate shots on target, you cannot score. So offside aside, or the mistake aside, we lost because today the team did not work, because Real Sociedad were much more superior to us in every facet of the game. Now, what did Real Sociedad do right? They did the same thing that Red Star of Belgrade did. They have found a way to defeat Hansi Flick's system, which is a line of 4-1-4-1, where you have a line of 4 defenders with a defensive midfielder there helping with the defensive duties. This time it was Subimendi, and with Real Sociedad implementing that one-on-one coverage, which is the same thing that Red Star of Belgrade did against us, and it worked for them for the first half. But of course, we're talking here about Real Sociedad, a team with much better players, a team with more quality, a team with more resources than Red Star of Belgrade. So where Red Star of Belgrade were able to implement that system and have it work for 45 minutes, Real Sociedad were able to implement it and have it work for them the entire 90 minutes. And I think teams have found Hansi Flick's system's weakness, which is something that Hansi Flick is going to have to figure out how to overcome. Now, overall, again, Real Sociedad much more superior. They were very solid defensively with that mid to low block, stopping all of Barcelona's attacks in their track. And then their midfield were much better than ours, and as far as moving that ball very quickly to their front attackers. And of course, their attackers were more decisive in that final touch, being able to score a goal. They had other chances that they wasted. But again, overall, Real Sociedad were superior to Barcelona in every aspect, in every facet of the game. And today was not our day. And today we take home another defeat, not because of the referee mistake, but simply because the team did not work. So hopefully this will be a lesson to Hansi Flick. Hopefully he'll be able to go back home, analyze what happened, figure out a way of overcoming this, because I think both Real Sociedad and Red Star of Belgrade have found the weakness in Flick's system, and hopefully Flick can find a way to combat that, because otherwise expect every team to play just like Real Sociedad did and every team like Red Star Belgrade played, and expect this to be a problem for the rest of the season. I don't think it will be. I think this was just another day where things just didn't work out. It happens. Losing is part of the sport. You cannot win every match. You cannot thrash opposition in every matches. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes the other team plays better. It happens. We learn from this and we move on. Now, let's look at the formation that Hansi Flick started in this game with several changes, because it was revealed that Lamine Yamal was not going to be fit to start. It looks like he picked up a knock against Red Star of Belgrade in the Champions League. He had been receiving treatment for it, but he did not recover on time. So Lamine Yamal had to watch the match from the stands. So this was the formation with Iñaki Peña in goal, Jules Koundé and Alejandro Balde as our two fullbacks, Pau Cubarsí and Inigo as our center backs, Marc Asado playing in the double pivot with Frankie, and then Pedri playing as the attacking mid, with Fermín López taking the place of Lamine Yamal on the right wing, Rafinha on the left, and of course, Robert Lewandowski as our center forward. Now, overall, as far as players, I did not like Frankie de Jong's first half. I think Frankie de Jong was not up to par during the first half. At first, when Barcelona were moving the ball, he had a couple of forward runs that were good, but overall, he was a little bit slow with the movement of the ball. After that, he would hold on to the ball a little bit too long. Also, he was not as good defensively as far as pressuring Real Sociedad, as far as trying to recover the ball, as far as tracking back to help with defensive duties. He was not up to par today whatsoever. I don't know if it's the injury, because he's been out on the field for 6 months. Maybe it's because he's still getting used to playing under Flick. I'm not sure what the exact reason is, but today Frankie de Jong showed that he did not have the level to start for Barcelona. Now, having said that, this is not to put the blame on Frankie de Jong, because again, this is not the referee's fault. This is not a single player's fault. This is overall the whole team as a whole did not work, and Real Sociedad were better than us, because today nobody showed up. Lewandowski didn't show up. Rafinha didn't show up. Pedri didn't show up. Marc Asado. Nobody showed up. The only one who might have showed up is maybe Pau Cubarsí and Iñigo Martinez, who did have some pretty good interventions here and there. Iñaki Peña had a few good saves, but overall the whole team didn't work. So this is not to put the blame on Frankie de Jong, because he does not take the blame himself. Nobody does. I know a lot of people were complaining about Jules Koundé. The problem with Jules Koundé was not so much that he was underperforming. The problem is that he was pretty lonely on that right side of the field. He usually has Lamine Yamal to work with. They usually combine together. They usually get each other out of bad situation. Like, for example, if Lamine has 2-3 defenders on him, he'll pass to Koundé. Or if Koundé has 2-3 defenders on him, he'll pass it to Lamine. They also cover each other's ball losses. If Lamine loses the ball, Koundé's there to recover it. If Koundé loses the ball, Lamine is there to recover it. They always work together. Today, Lamine wasn't there. Fermín López took his place, and Fermín López did not really do the same duties as Lamine, which is it's expected. That's not his position, because Lamine Yamal, what he does is he takes the ball with him on the side and then cuts in, taking defenders with him, leaving that right flank clear for Koundé. Today, Fermín López was not successful in doing that. He was not successful in making those cuts and dragging marks with him. So therefore, Koundé was left there by himself to face off against Real Sociedad's defenders, who were absolutely impeccable. Not to mention that Koundé had to cover the whole right of the field, because again, Lamine Yamal usually plays on the right with Koundé. Today, Fermín was playing more as an interior, occupying that space between Real Sociedad center backs and fullbacks. So with Fermín playing more as an interior, that left the whole right side of the field for Jules Koundé to cover both offensively and defensively. So, of course, he was going to struggle. So, again, this is not to blame anyone. This is not Koundé's fault, like people were suggesting during the watch-along. This is not Frankie de Jong's fault, who was subpar in the first half. This is not the referee's fault. Again, the whole team didn't work as a whole, and Real Sociedad were superior to us in every single facet of the match. So another defeat, or I should say the second defeat of the season. let this be a lesson to Flick and the players. Hopefully they can go back, analyze this, learn from this, and improve on it, because it looks like some teams have figured out a way of causing us a damage. And I hope and pray to God that La Liga figure out what the hell went wrong with that automatic system, because that was an absolutely grotesque and unacceptable mistake in what is supposed to be one of the best leagues in all of the world. Anyways, that is all I have to say as far as the match. Again, we do drop 3 points. We were 6 points ahead of Real Madrid. We're still 6 points ahead of Real Madrid, but that's because Real Madrid have one less match. Their match against Valencia got suspended due to the flooding. So if Real Madrid win that respective match, they cut the distance to 3 points. But that's the whole point of creating enough distance between you and second place, is to allow yourselves these kind of mistakes, because these things do happen. Teams lose. No matter how good you are, you lose, you draw points. These things happen. Bumps happen amongst the road, along the road. And today was one of those days where things simply did not work out and where we lost. But this is not to mean that somehow we're in trouble, that the whole project doesn't work, that the players suck, that Flick sucks. This is simply a bump in the road, because losing is a part of the sport. And you have to understand that if you want to be able to digest these kind of defeats. Anyways, that is all I have to say about the post-match live analysis. Let's look at the comments, and then we will end this live. I did do the watch along. If you guys watched it with me, thank you for accompanying me on this tough day. And I will be doing a news video later today. Let's look at what everyone's saying in the chat section. Christian infeliz. Oh, my friend, why are you infeliz? You have to be feliz. I know today is not a good day to be feliz because we lost, but overall, you should be feliz, my friend. Says clear robbery. Yes, as far as the offside, 100%. But again, that was not why we lost. We lost because things did not work out and because Real Sociedad were superior to us. Mike Valencia says, Luis de la Fuente will make sure Lamine plays in crutches. We sacrifice our own matches for their pointless ass matches. They were saying that Lamine was still going to travel, but now I saw a report on, I think it was Twitter where I saw it, where they're saying that Barcelona will try to petition the Royal Spanish Football Federation to not have Lamine Yamal included. Hopefully he doesn't, because if he is not healthy enough to play for Barcelona, he should definitely not be playing for Spain, because it's Barcelona who pays his salary. It's Barcelona who will have to continue paying his salary if, God forbid, he gets injured with Spain. And it's Barcelona who's going to have to foot the bill for his recovery if, God forbid, he gets injured with Spain. So, no, I don't think Lamine Yamal should be traveling. If he's not healthy enough to start for Barcelona, he shouldn't be healthy enough, shouldn't be starting for Spain, especially since we're talking about the garbage made-up UEFA Nations League, which has zero bearing on anything. Dave says it was onside, then La Liga should financially compensate Barcelona or any club to whom the error was made. Accountability is needed. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. La Liga, they're looking to make money, not to lose money. So, unfortunately, I just don't see that happen. Adam says, relax, guys. This is just the beginning of the process. Trust the process. Exactly. Even if it wasn't the beginning of the process, even if Flick has been at the helm of the team for 2-3 years, losses happen. Defeats happen. It's part of the sport. Losing is part of the sport. Make sure that it's very clear in your mind. You cannot win every game. Olayemi says, Kunde was not good today at all, just making faulty passes. Again, it has nothing to do with Kunde not being good enough. Simply, he was just left alone on the right flank, and, well, you cannot expect miracles. You cannot have one player covering the entire length of the field on the right side and going against defenders by himself. He's not Lionel Messi. He's not going to dribble past 2-3 players. Simply, it was just tactically speaking, it just didn't work. He was left alone on the right side. Fermin wasn't helping with dragging the mark away from the right side. And then Real Sociedad were absolutely superb. Let's see. Bibaj says, I guess it was incoming. It was not our day. Vizca Barca love from Nepal. Exactly. It just wasn't our day. These things happen. There's not much we could do about it except learn from it and make sure it doesn't happen again. Let's see. Nathan says, Mo, today is proof we need Nico or Rafael Leao. I mean, we need someone on the left wing because we need a specialist on the left wing. I wouldn't say that today was proof of anything. I don't know if they would have made any difference to have someone like Nico or Leao, because, again, today things did not work out. Every facet of the team did not work out. We were not good enough recovering the ball when we lost it. We were not good enough completing passes. So even if you have someone like Leao on the left, if you can't even complete 2 passes in a row to get the ball to Rafael Leao, then what's the point of having him? I don't think anything would have made much difference today. I don't even think if Lamine was on the field, it would have made that big of a difference. Sure, the team might have been a little bit better. But again, if we couldn't even complete 2 passes in a row, and if you can't even complete 2 passes in a row, how are you even going to get the ball to Leao or to Lamine or to whomever? Today, simply things did not work out. We can start talking about if this or if that, or try to blame players. Or at the end of the day, the whole team did not work out. And again, accept it that losses are part of the process, and scapegoating is not going to get us anywhere. And Christian says the F Real Madrid employee referee should have watched it on the VAR screen himself. Idiot refereeing. No, because the rules don't require the referees to look at the screen. And with the introduction of the automatic offside, it's no longer a refereeing decision. It's not reviewable. The referee does not go to the screen and watch it. It's simple. The system tells you either it's offside or it's not. There's nothing left for interpretation, right? VAR review is for interpretation. For example, player hits the ball with his hand. You're not supposed to, but there's different ways to interpret that. Was it purpose? Was it not on purpose? Is it actually a penalty? Is it not a penalty? Was the hand close to the body? Was the hand far away from the body? Did the hand obstruct the path of the ball? Those are things that are left for interpretation. It's not black or white. Offside is black or white. It's either offside or it's not. The system tells you. So no, the referee had no obligation to go to the screen. This was a systems mistake that needs to be reviewed, and we need to figure out what the hell happened, what went wrong in order for it not to happen again. Raul says, I've been saying this. We need a pacey winger who's incredible at 1v1s. If Rafinha can't run behind the lines, he's practically useless. We need Leao or Nico to carry danger on the left flank. I do agree that we need 1v1 type wingers, and Rafinha is not that. Rafinha is great for running behind defenders, like you pointed it out. But in matches where you have low blocks and you need wingers to create space with their dribbling, that's definitely not a match for Rafinha. And that's why I've also said before that, yes, we do need someone on the left wing, whether it be someone like Nico, Leao, I don't know. But we do need someone like that. But again, I don't even think that would have made a difference today, because today the team as a whole just was subpar. And Real Sociedad were way better than us, because like Mark here is pointing out, not a single shot on target besides the goal that Lewandowski scored, which of course was ruled offsides. Delmore says those pictures are 2 different frames. If you look at the original pic, is the correct one, because they wanted him offside to use a different freeze frame. For the VAR offside, 2 different frames. I don't think they wanted him to be offside. I think this is a grotesque mistake by the system. Something went wrong. It needs to be revisited. It needs to be fixed. I don't believe in conspiracies. I don't think that there's some kind of conspiracy or some kind of dark force working against us and making sure that we lose. This is just another refereeing mistake, which does happen a lot in La Liga, but that has to do with the mediocrity of refereeing La Liga, and it has to do with La Liga's refusal of implementing solutions to improve the refereeing. They just dismiss it. They're like, mistake, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And that's the problem, right? The problem is the referees are mediocre, and La Liga are refusing to try to fix that mediocrity and make them better. But I don't think there's some kind of conspiracy to make Barcelona lose. If I believe that, I wouldn't bother to watch football, because why would I watch a sport where things are already predetermined? It's like watching WWE, which I know some people love to watch just for the entertainment purposes, but I never liked it because I always knew as a kid that it was fake. So why would I want to watch something that's already predetermined? I wouldn't bother watching. Plus, if there is some kind of conspiracy to make Barcelona lose, why didn't that conspiracy work at the Bernabeu, where we scored, 0-4? If anything, it would have been used there, not now. Dave says the game was too compact. We lacked width. We needed an out-and-out winger, stretch the pitch, whether it's Yamal or someone else. I agree 100% with that. I think we just didn't have that. Lamine wasn't there. And, of course, Rafinha, that's not the kind of winger that he is. So what we had is everybody trying to go through the middle, right? Fermin, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Dani Olmo, Pedri, everybody trying to use the interior corridors, and all we did was overpopulate the interior corridors, and everybody was stepping on each other's foot, and all Real Sociedad had to do was just compact their lines, and boom, stop there, right? There's nobody to stretch the field out in order to create those gaps in between Real Sociedad's defenders. So that was a big problem today. And it's unfortunate. Ken says, I know this was going to happen. History shows that this was going to happen at any time. Real Madrid put on a good performance. Barcelona does mess up. Well, I don't think it has anything to do with Madrid's performance. Simply, teams lose. You know, Madrid lost against Milan. Madrid lost against Barcelona. All teams lose. Raul says, I've been saying, oh, wait, we already covered that. Not the Gamer says, bro, I got ESPN for the first time. And at the beginning of the second half, I swear I could hear the commentators from one of the Spanish commentators of the English channels. I had ESPN on, but since I was doing the watch along, I couldn't listen. I guess I'll go back and check it out, see what you're talking about. Sampana says, we need another winger clearly who can dribble, has space, because today without Lamine, it was difficult. Yes, we do need another winger on the left that can do what Lamine does on the right. But again, I don't know if that would have made that much of a difference today. Today, simply nothing worked. We couldn't even complete 2 passes in a row. It was absolute disaster. Rocket says, Son is out of contract. Son is out of contract after the season, and the same goes for Salah. Sané the same as for Leao. He wants to join, and talks in between 75 million started, but I would go for a free Sané. And Trini says, I disagree with you, Mo. The psychological effect on the Sociedad of going on goal down against the league leaders cannot be underestimated, nor can the confidence it would have given us. The call was huge. Maybe, again, but with 0 goals on shot, I don't care how confident the team would have been. If you cannot shoot on target, you cannot score. The ball is not just going to magically go into the goal. You have to shoot on target, and we had 0 shots on target. So it's hard to explain that the referee is what cost us the match, because if you don't shoot at the target, you cannot score. As simple as that. Superman says, Mo, they were not better than us. We did not play as good. We played last game. It's on flick. We aren't going to win Champions League if we play like this. How did Madrid win against them? Not us. Well, if we weren't as good, that means they were better than us, right? If you have Barcelona, Real Sociedad, Barcelona's performance dips. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Oh, Florentino Perez. Oh, my goodness. Says today, I see Barcelona messed up their offside line. Real Sociedad players were far superior in terms of stamina. I don't think it's a stamina problem. I think that's usually the easiest thing that people like to point out, because it's much easier to analyze the match by saying it was a stamina thing than actually figure out what actually went wrong. I don't think it was a stamina thing. I think it's just Real Sociedad players were better. That's all. They were much better tactically. They were better in every facet of the game. They were compact. They knew how to defend against us, and they knew how to do damage in their counterattacks. That's all. Ashan says, bro, I'm a Real Madrid fan. Don't block me. I can give you advice. Sociedad played better than Barca, so please accept the truth. That's literally what I just said. So thank you for repeating what I just said. I learned a lot from your advice. Street Fighter says, this is the same way the referee in the Inter match 2 years ago said he thought Fati is Dumfries. Right, but then back then it was a human mistake. Now we have a computer, and it's still getting the same mistakes. Obviously something's wrong. If this system was introduced to take away the human error and is still doing the same error as humans, then what the hell was the point of introducing this system? Let's see. Borghetti says, I hope we don't get the stage off Lamine Pendencia. I don't think we're like it wasn't a problem that Lamine wasn't on the field. Again, the whole team just didn't work, and the Sociedad were better than us in every facet. Would Lamine been on the field, maybe made some difference? Sure, maybe would have been a little bit better here and there. But overall, I don't think Lamine would have made us win, because again, Real Sociedad were just better. Not the Gamer says, hot take, anything to do with psychology and mentality is overrated in football. Like, why can't we use just smile and lock in? Exactly. This whole like, oh, this is affecting. Look, these are professional athletes who are psychologically speaking at the top level as far as humans go. These are professional athletes who get paid a lot of money, who train with psychologists. And if you're telling me you cannot keep your head in the game, then why are you playing a professional sport? Why are you making all that money if you can't even stay connected in the game? And I don't know. Let's see. Astan says, Cuba played better than all Barca players, best Asian player for a reason. And Borghetti says, you cut your hair, Mo, looking younger and sharp. Thank you, my friend. It was really long. The reason why it was really long is because my barber kept canceling on me. So I had to go an extra 2 weeks past when I was supposed to go. But yes, thank you, my friend. I got my haircut finally. And Superman says, Mo, flick out. I'm not going to accept this. We're going to lose Celta Vigo too. not even going to bother responding. Obey says, Mo, good morning. Cameroon time. Please, I wish to ask what happened to Lamine. Looks like Lamine picked up a knock against Red Star. He had been receiving treatment for it, but unfortunately, he was not healthy enough for today, and this is why today he did not play. And Rocket says, Mo, in between those players who will be free after the season and those who Barca are targeting on the wings, who would you pick? Son, Salah, Sané, or transfer for Leao, Nico, or Kvara? That's a tough question. If money wasn't a problem, Salah is too old. I wouldn't want to bring Salah because, we're going to go back to our old habits, bringing 30-plus-year-old players, and then you're stuck with them as their performance starts to dip because of age. Sané is too injury-prone. Son, I like him, but I don't know if he is really would make the squad that much better. I think it would be between Leao and Nico. Obviously, Leao is much more talented than Nico, but he's also inconsistent. But Nico Williams has had inconsistencies, but then Nico Williams is cheaper. I don't know. That's tough for me. I guess if I had to absolutely pick someone, gun to my head, I think I would say probably Leao. I don't know. Eric says, hey, Mo, Barcelona need to have games like this so that they can take every game seriously. Just because they are in a big team doesn't mean you can't take them easy. Lesson needs to be learned. I mean, look, improvements come through defeats, right? You learn your lessons in defeats. So hopefully today will be, a good lesson for both Flick and the players that they can go back, review what happened, learn from it, and improve from it. So, defeats are part of the game, and as long as you're learning from them, then you should be good. Not the gamer says half the people in the comments switch these opinions. For real, last year Rafinha, D-Riders, and now it's Rafinha isn't a Barca type winger. Blah blah blah. I mean, I do see a lot of change of opinions in people just based on one match at a time. Like if a player has 9 great matches and 1 bad one, it's like, oh, he's garbage. Or if he has 9 bad matches and 1 good one, all of a sudden he's the GOAT. I think we have to be we have to take a few steps back and just look at the whole picture as a whole and how is a player doing overall, not just like in one match. All right, let's see. Eddie says, Nico had only 1 goal this season. Not great consistency. True. Nico is not doing great this season. Well, anyways. All right, that is all for this live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, for your comments. Barcelona, they suffered the second defeat of the season. Real Sociedad played much better than us today. Today, things didn't work out. Terrible and huge grotesque mistake by the referee, but nonetheless, not the reason for Barcelona's defeat. Because if you can't have a single shot on goal, then there's no way that you can score. But hopefully we will learn from this. Hopefully we will get better, and hopefully we'll go back to our winning streak. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the news video, which I will be uploading later today. And as always, peace, guys.